Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. It is Zen Withinsday here on Wednesday, January 25th. I know you all have been telling me that you like my videos in the car and my videos outside, but it's pouring down rain here. So the best I can offer you is that I have a new emotional support animal, alpaca, that I got for myself for Valentine's Day. That is our new mascot for these videos when I'm doing them. And that's what I have to offer you today. So first off, thank you all for sharing with me how you feel about the videos, commenting on them. I've been getting comments from you all about how much you like them and appreciate them. So that's really encouraging. So thank you so much for doing that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this particular video so that you can not miss any of my future Zen Withinsday updates. And before I get into what I wanted to talk about today, I want to talk and answer a question that Katie Hank commented on the last video I did around the illusion of separation. She asked me for my viewpoint on why separation exists and why we've chosen to go through the veil of amnesia to forget that we are source before we come here. So I want to talk about that. My viewpoint on that, and this is really something that's come in multiple times as I have channeled and worked with my guides and especially my star brothers and sisters, is that when we're a part of source, you can imagine how beautiful that might be. I think we can all imagine what it would be like to be one with source, to be source, and to not feel separate from source. But we at some point become quite bored. And source always wants to move out from itself and know itself as a consciousness, as a construct. And so we decide to incarnate again because we've moved through a process of remembering and becoming source again. And then we say we want to go experience something as a soul. We want to go explore another experience. And oftentimes, in order to have those particular lessons or soul contracts experienced, we have to go through this veil of amnesia and forget that we are source. And I think we all go through it to some varying degree. I know that there are certain people on this planet who I believe incarnate with more of the remembering of who they are at a source-based level than others. But I think we all go through that experience, that veil of amnesia, so that we can have a separation, a feeling of separation, so that we can just experience what it is to be in a human body separate from one another. I think there's value in that, even though it doesn't feel comfortable, even though we're really here to remember that we're source and to experience that, we have to forget in order to remember. So it's a paradox. So I hope that answers your question, Katie, at least from my viewpoint. So what I want to talk about today is activating, amplifying, and connecting with your wild and free parts. So I have been noticing in a lot of my client sessions that people are showing up and they're telling me that they feel stuck and that they have this flat feeling and they have this disconnected feeling in their being. And if they were to look at their life on paper, it all looks great. They have the job, they have the partner, they have the abundance that they need, they have all the boxes checked. And yet they still feel unfulfilled. They feel like something is missing. And sometimes that something is missing is our connection to our inner child. And often that connection to our inner child is also our connection to the part of us that I call the wild and free parts, the untamed parts. And what I'm witnessing, and I don't really know exactly why this is so present now in the collective, or maybe it's just coming into my awareness now, but we are in a phase of reclaiming those wild and free parts right now. And what I witness is that so much of our life is very boxed in and very constrictive. And we are in a reality that feels very confining. And we're slowly breaking out of that. Many people are choosing alternate paths for work, alternate paths for partnership. All kinds of things are being explored on this planet that are not fitting into those boxes. But for those of us that maybe have already explored some of those things and we still feel like something's missing, what I'm finding is that we need to reclaim the wild and free version of us, right? What is living inside of us that doesn't have a home in our life, some wild version of us that doesn't have a home in our day-to-day existence. And I also think that this is really related to our unprocessed emotions, because when I tune into the wild and free free part of myself, she is deeply feeling and she is deeply creative and deeply emotive. And if I look at what is expected of me in society, there's not a lot of room for that in your average everyday undertakings. And so what I'm finding is that I'm having to spend some time with these parts of me and give these parts a whole lot of space. I'm having to create more inward time, more reflecting time, so that I can just get to know these parts of myself. And then I'm diving into new creative endeavors because I'm finding that's an easy outlet for me to allow these wild and free parts of me to express themselves in a way that is just for me. And it's not about what anybody else thinks. And so some of you might be feeling this. I am noticing when I work with clients that besides it being like a flat feeling in their being, it's also this kind of feeling of angst or searching or seeking that they're speaking to me about. And so if you are somebody who's experiencing this, I encourage you to sit with this energy that you're feeling and ask it to make itself known to you. Ask for support in allowing that part of you to come to the surface more, even if it's just in your own personal alone time, in your own personal spiritual practice, in your own personal creative or movement practice. I am realizing that especially the last 3 years, I've been working so hard and doing so many things to support the collective and to build my business and all these things that are important. But the creative part of me, the wild and free part of me, really has gotten neglected. She really feels like she hasn't gotten to adventure. She hasn't gotten to enjoy life in the way that I would really like. And I think part of that is just what's happened over the last 3 years, where we have really been isolated. We've been separated. We haven't been able to travel. We haven't been able to go and maybe take classes and go be in community and experience things with people in new settings. And we're really craving this connection. But we first have to create that connection inward with these parts of ourselves that need love. And once that connection is created, then we can go out into the community and make those connections with other people. So I've been making art, and it's a process for me that is evolving. I'm using a lot of color and making art with light language and bringing these symbols through, and I'm using them in my class that I'm teaching right now. And that's really giving my being an outlet. I'm also working with movement and doing a lot of stuff with my body to try to give the parts of my body that need to be expressed some form of expression. So I just wanted to give voice to this because I imagine that this is not and isolated to me and my clients that I'm seeing. If you're watching this video, there is probably some part of you that's yearning to be seen, yearning to be experienced, yearning to express itself. And when we're doing work and we're doing our inner work and we're bringing parts of ourselves back home, we have to give them enough space to breathe when we bring them back, or they will just isolate again. They will just separate from us again. So anytime people work with me and I ask them to do inner child work in between sessions, what I ask them to do is really honor that inner child. If you think about a child, they are in their creative expression, they are in their emotions, they are in their body, they are fully present in their being unless something has happened to them or someone has told them not to be. And so these wild and free parts, I think, even if they come in as an aspect of self that you had in your 20s, right? Perhaps there's something in that is a gateway to your inner child. And your inner child is a gateway to your intuition and your source-based connection and all of your gifts that want to come online in your spiritual practices and all these different things that want to come online for you to make your life more whole and more full and more joyful. So I hope this little bit of awareness serves you. Please comment and let me know what's happening for you. Are you experiencing this desire for these wild and free parts to be expressed? One other thing that I'll say is that sometimes we have parts of us when we're in relationship with certain people that we can't express, where we feel like they would not accept those parts of us. And sometimes that's in our head, right? That's not a truth. Sometimes it is a truth and we can feel the judgment. And so you may find that when you let these parts of you have space, that they feel a little vulnerable, they feel a little sacred, and you may not want to share that with anybody, and that's totally okay. But I also encourage you, as you hold space for these parts of yourself and you bring them in and you create some wholeness within your being, to get into that vulnerable place a little bit and be willing to share some of those aspects. Because I find that when those parts are shared with me, as a friend shares a wild and free part of them and a part that's just fully an expression of life, I feel much more connected to them. That is how I feel connected to them, when they bring their whole self to the table. And so I just want to share that as well. You may be finding that there are certain relationships that you need to pull out of a little bit so that you can reconnect with these parts of yourself and then bring that back, right? Bring that back to the relationship and see if the relationship can expand, or if the relationship needs maybe to change or fall away because there's some part of you that cannot be honored in that relationship. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. I hope you're doing so well. I also wanted to let you know, in the vein of this self-expression, that my I Am Starseed class that I did last year, that was super popular, that was about reconnecting to our starseed origins and understanding our starseed heritage, is on sale right now for $99 on my website. I'll put a link beneath this video to that. And it's normally $285, and it's 6 modules, and it will activate some galactic parts of you, some wild and free parts of you for sure. So if you're somebody that wants to drop into your extraterrestrial connections, your star brothers and sisters, and that excites you, then you might want to check that course out. It was one of my favorite courses to teach, and I'm really excited to make that available to you all at this reduced price right now. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will be back next week, not with a Zen Withinsday update, but with the energy update for the month. The themes have already come in, and we've got some big energies coming in for our month of February. So I look forward to sharing that with all of you next Wednesday. I hope you have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.